2025 has arrived with RPGs that don't just want to entertain you for a few hours. They want to devour your days, nights, and entire weekends. These are games that chew up your free time and swallow any plans you had to rest or be productive. Absurdly rich worlds, combat that demands precision, choices that matter, all designed to make you sink in without even realizing it. Every new RPG this year seems to have been created to drain the last drop of your attention. And the worst part? You'll love being consumed by each one of them. Today, let's dive into the new RPGs that will destroy your life in 2025. I'm Jax, and if you're new here, welcome to the Play Hunters channel. I bring daily content so you won't miss a single detail from the gaming universe. And if you could subscribe to help me grow, I'd really appreciate it. From one gamer to another. First up, Soulframe, an open-world RPG that promises to deliver an immersive journey in a land marked by ruins, living nature, and spiritual forces. The story revolves around a corrupted world, where balance must be restored through bonds with mystical entities. The promise is of a carefully built narrative, giving weight to discoveries. The combat will be slower and more methodical, focusing on melee weapons, magic, and special abilities. Unlike frantic rhythms, battles here will require attention to movement and timing of each strike. Progression will center around decisions and connections, not just numbers. Instead of maps full of icons, the world will be explored by intuition, observing details and responding to the environment. A curious detail is the guide bird, which replaces the mini-map and discreetly leads you to points of interest. The base, Nightfold, will serve as a resting point, crafting area, and deeper exploration of the universe. The art direction aims to balance the real and the ethereal, with unique creatures and immersive landscapes. Soulframe has the potential to offer something different and impactful within the genre. In second place, Vindictus Defying Fate promises to deliver a fast and brutal Souls-like combat experience, set in the same universe as Nexon's classic MMO. This time, the focus is entirely on a single-player journey, diving into intense battles and settings that mix dark fantasy with a constant atmosphere of war. The narrative revolves around warriors determined to defy fate, facing colossal creatures in a fragmented world. The combat stands out for not following the more sluggish pace of traditional Souls-like games. Here, the focus is on fluidity and speed, with dodges, parries, and chain strikes done more agilely. Each character will have their own style and skill set, opening up space for varied strategies. Even in its test version, the game has shown that it seeks to refine the balance between accessibility and depth. Beyond gameplay, the use of Unreal Engine 5 is noticeable, delivering landscapes with good depth and well-detailed characters. Battles gain weight with well-crafted animations and impactful visual effects, without compromising performance. If everything stays on track until release, this could be one of the strongest names of the year in the action RPG category. Next, we have a game that promises to mess with your mind in a different way Hell is Us. It places you in a land devastated by civil war, where modern technology doesn't exist, and it's up to you to follow clues, conversations, and documents to understand what's going on. Playing as a man searching for his missing parents, you get involved in tense investigations, explorations, and an atmosphere that blends sci-fi with medieval decay. The plot doesn't hand everything to you. Every detail must be earned. The gameplay focuses on hand-to-hand combat, using unusual weapons to face bizarre creatures that seem to come out of a nightmare. There are no clear maps or blinking icons on the screen. The game wants you to truly pay attention to the world. Puzzles and riddles are part of the routine, as are dense dialogues and decisions that reveal more layers of this mystery-filled story. The rhythm is more measured, requiring patience, attention, and a fair bit of courage. What stands out is how this universe balances the strangeness of its creatures with a combat system that values precision. The stamina bar is directly linked to your health, forcing you to think before attacking. Even with a focus on action, there are still more strategic moments, with tools that can distract enemies or change the course of a fight. The combination of setting, investigation, and tension promises something that goes beyond the usual within the Souls-like genre. In fourth place, Wuchang Fallen Feathers dives into a reimagined feudal China, where disease transforms humans into deformed creatures. Amid the chaos, you play as a skilled pirate warrior who not only faces these threats, but also absorbs their abilities to use them to your advantage. The story is still surrounded by mystery, but already hints at something dark, brutal, and much deeper than the generic monsters appearing out of nowhere plot. What stands out the most is the combat rhythm. You don't just enter a fight with a sword and courage. The game gives you aerial combos, violent spells, and a skill tree that looks like it came straight from a dense RPG. Each weapon changes your style completely, and movements learned from enemies turn you into a true machine of destruction. It's the type of game that makes you feel in control without losing the sense of challenge. Instead of making you crawl in fear around every corner, this game offers something rare: you can actually feel powerful. The art direction impresses with a detailed and chilling setting, and the boss fights test not only your patience, but your creativity with the arsenal. Wuchang has everything to avoid the obvious and stand out among Souls-like titles, especially if it knows how to use this mechanical freedom to support a bolder story. In fifth place, the first Berserker Khazan emerges as one of the most intense games in the new generation of Souls-like titles. It puts you in the shoes of a general betrayed and possessed by warrior spirits, on a revenge-filled journey against the empire that condemned him. The campaign is divided into linear missions, passing through destroyed villages, cursed fortresses, and venomous swamps. The setting blends medieval brutality with supernatural touches, sustaining a dense atmosphere from start to finish. The combat requires precision, patience, and mastery of all mechanics. You choose between colossal swords, fast spears, or dual blades that carve a path with aggression. Each weapon has a completely different playstyle, with skill trees unlocking new moves, buffs, and modifications. Even with lethal enemies around every corner, it's in the boss fights where the game truly tightens up, long, brutal duels that force you to learn from every defeat. Despite the absurd difficulty, the game offers clear rewards with each progress. Learning enemy patterns and seeing your build evolve bit by bit transforms frustration into accomplishment. When you overcome a challenge that seemed impossible, it's not just relief, it's pride. The first Berserker gives nothing for free, but when you win, you feel it was earned. A title designed for those who view pain as part of the pleasure. In sixth place, AI Limit takes a sci-fi approach where humanity has been devastated by a black substance capable of deforming everything. You control an android created to restore this world, facing bizarre threats in ruined environments. The story blends technological and occult elements, guiding your steps through industrial ruins and areas covered by corrosive sludge. Gradually, narrative fragments reveal the origins of this catastrophe and the protagonist's true mission. Everything is built with a constant sense of tension and mystery. The combat system ditches the stamina bar and revolves around synchrony, a meter that increases as you attack, but fades when you take damage. This dynamic encourages an offensive and rewarding playstyle. Weapons have varied styles, allowing you to switch between heavy attacks, spells, and special abilities. You can unlock powers that change your movement or defense, creating highly flexible combat scenarios. The pace is quick, but demands careful management of the advantage. Progression relies on customizations that expand your combat repertoire, with spells, upgrades, and alternate styles. Everything depends on how you face enemies and collect resources from the environment. Even with structures familiar to the Souls-like genre, AI Limit seeks to renew the formula with more fluid ideas and less punishing combat. If these promises are fulfilled, the game could surprise with an accessible, energetic, and action-packed journey set in a dark, technological universe. Next, Elden Ring Nightreign changes the pace entirely by introducing a cooperative approach in a world that feels like a shared nightmare. You and your team enter an entirely unexplored map, starting from scratch and needing to scour every corner to strengthen yourselves for the final confrontation. The atmosphere is tense, danger is everywhere, and every decision directly impacts the survival of the group. Exploration in phases, with a day and night cycle, creates a constant sense of urgency, making each run unpredictable. During the day, you have time to gather runes, fight enemies, and explore places marked by specific rewards. Churches hide flash charges, castles house mini-bosses, and towers present puzzles that unlock new gear. Combat is fast, movement is fluid, and the verticality of the maps adds dynamism. The available classes define your role, but it's the combination of weapons, amulets, and special effects that shape your build in each run, creating a system full of possibilities. But when night falls, distractions are no longer an option. Bosses appear to test every choice made up until then, and failing can mean the end of the journey. The preparation time ends, and it all boils down to teamwork, precision, and common pressure. The roguelike format, with relic progression between runs, promises to hook those who enjoy constant challenges and building from scratch. If everything stays on track, this could be the most frenetic and creative mode scene in the Elden Ring universe. In 8th place, the Relic First Guardian promises to throw you into an epic mission to restore the world of Arsiltis, now consumed by deadly void. After the destruction of a legendary relic, the kingdom rotted and was swallowed by darkness, leaving only you, the last guardian, to gather the lost fragments and seal the threat. The goal is to deliver an intense journey with narrative weight and a devastated world waiting to be explored. The setting will be semi-open, focusing on exploration and strategic combat choices. You'll be able to define your fighting style with 5 distinct weapon types, each offering unique abilities. The idea is to give you total freedom in how to approach confrontations, encouraging experimentation, combinations, and constant adaptation in the face of the dangers that surround this corrupted universe. Instead of following the classic level-up system, progression will occur through runes, items, and forging. Each victory will open new paths and expand access to the world as you uncover secrets, conquer dungeons, and strengthen yourself. The goal is to provide not only action but also depth in character building, with progression based on exploration and mastering the game mechanics. In 9th place, Alterborn is a Souls-like that promises to launch you into a desolate and twisted universe where even your identity is at stake. You'll be one of the last survivors of a world overtaken by an ancient force that distorts everything around it. Wearing the title of Alterborn, your mission will be to resist the corruption that consumes the world, or embrace it completely. The ruined lands are filled with bizarre creatures, moral dilemmas, and secrets buried in ruins that obey no logic. Every decision you make will have weight. You can strengthen your humanity by combining unique weapons and abilities or surrender to the ghostly form, a devastating state of power that requires giving up your soul. Progression isn't just based on numbers, but on choices that define your playstyle and how the world reacts to your presence. The line between right and wrong fades as you forge fragile alliances, manipulate allies, and decide who lives or dies in the fragmented lands. What stands out is the presence of the altered state, a parallel dimension that overlaps with reality, altering the scenery in real time. It's in this space where the greatest mysteries await, along with the cruelest enemies and the most tempting rewards. The transformation into Phantom isn't just aesthetic. It redefines your combat approach and increases the risk of losing what remains of your humanity. In a world where nothing is trustworthy, the true challenge is keeping control over who you are becoming. Next, Ballad of Antara is an action RPG that focuses on fluid combat, quick character transitions, and a universe marked by ancient forces and overlapping dimensions. The game promises to take you on a journey alongside emissaries, entities linked to the essences of the world, offering unique combat styles and specific abilities. The story unfolds amid the reconstruction of a corrupted world, where each fragment of essence reclaimed represents a step toward uncovering a lost truth. Exploration will be a key part of the adventure, with maps full of alternative routes, hidden secrets, and areas like the Para Dimension, where danger increases with every step. The game promises carefully designed environments, guiding your curiosity through monumental ruins, dense forests, and structures that float between reality and imagination. The combat, focused on real-time action, will be led by a squad of 3 characters, strategically switching between them during battles. Even with limited information revealed, everything suggests this will be a narrative-driven adventure, where each playable character will not only bring new mechanics, but also important pieces of the story. The promise of combining free exploration with a dynamic combat system and grand settings gives the project significant weight for fans of the genre. We'll have to wait and see if this world of essences and emissaries truly lives up to its promise of being as deep as it is beautiful. In 11th place, Lies of P Overture promises to expand on the already dark paths we've come to know, now taking us back to the past of Krat. This time, the setting transforms into a city on the brink of collapse, submerged in decay, mysteries, and forgotten beauty. The chaos preceding the massacre of the puppets begins to unfold, while you're guided by enigmatic figures and must confront the secrets hiding in the ruins of what was once magnificent. The journey promises to keep the combat sharp and brutal, with new enemies, weapons, and areas carefully designed to test every decision you make. The idea is to intensify the drama, linking choices to consequences that resonate in both the present and future. The atmosphere remains heavy, with oppressive settings, dubious characters, and a melancholic soundtrack accompanying each step through the city of Krat and its surroundings. More than just an expansion, this new chapter will immerse you even deeper into the layers of an already dense narrative. Going back in time to confront what was lost will not be just a mission, but a journey marked by revelations and emotional weight. And even with the end approaching, perhaps it is in this distorted past where the final truth lies hidden. In 12th place, Witches of the New World places you in the heart of a dark conflict shortly after the Salem witch trials. Amidst paranoia, the setting blends with a suffocating atmosphere where fear fuels dangerous decisions. Among dense forests, corrupted villages, and hidden cults, your mission is to discover whether the hysteria was unfounded or if something supernatural truly took over the region. The combat follows the Souls-like style, but with a focus on a 17th century setting, bringing ancient firearms, rustic swords, and enemies that seem to come from forbidden legends. The promise is of a system with difficult choices, which may influence not only the course of the story, but also how you're perceived by others. Every confrontation could be fatal, and every decision may carry an unexpected weight. Unlike other titles in the genre, this journey is anchored in real history, transforming historical roots into a dark fantasy universe. As you investigate the scars of a society broken by fanaticism and manipulation, you'll find yourself surrounded by lies, secrets, and horrors that defy all logic. And perhaps, amidst the chaos, the greatest threat will be doubt itself. Next, Yuangong's Sword Awakening promises to transport you to a world where Chinese tradition meets steampunk in a surprising way. Inspired by the tale The Sword of the Maiden of Yu, the game will explore a journey of honor and combat in settings reflecting Sichuan culture, with ancient ruins and old technology intertwined. The goal is to make every step reveal a piece of the past, while new danger looms at every corner. Combat is set to be the heart of the experience, with intense duels based on the fluid style of Chinese swords. Movement should be light and precise, offering freedom to adapt your fighting style to your playstyle. All of this supported by stunning visuals created with Unreal Engine, which should bring to life a world full of temples, rusted machines, and buildings blending the classic with the improbable. What's most interesting is how the game intends to transform legends into challenges. The creatures, bosses, and settings are promised to follow an aesthetic line that blends the real with the fantastical, inviting you to explore and discover. The promise is of an adventure that respects cultural roots while testing your skill with every battle. In 14th place, Where Winds Meet promises to mix fantasy, war, and martial arts in an open-world setting based on feudal China. You'll walk through the end of the Ten Kingdoms, a turbulent period where alliances collapse, conflicts erupt, and decisions shape the fate of empires. The focus is on the intense journey of a swordsman who must deal with political instability and the threats emerging from every side, while exploring a vast territory full of hidden stories. Combat draws inspiration from a style that blends kung fu, acrobatics, and sword fights and movements almost poetic. A fluid and agile system is expected, with freedom to define your path and approach in each battle. In addition to combat, the proposal includes RPG elements and narrative choices, with decisions that should influence the course of the story. This is a game that promises to unite action, freedom, and immersion into a single package, with impressive visuals that catch the eye right from the first trailer. The world will be open and dynamic, with bustling cities, forgotten ruins, and landscapes that blend history with fantasy. The idea is for exploration to be just as important as the confrontations, creating a constant cycle between discovery, strategy, and overcoming. With an ambitious and bold proposal, this adventure aims to leave its mark among the great action RPGs of the new generation. In 15th place, Abyss World Apocalypse is a Souls-like that promises to combine intense combat with a deep and engaging world-building experience. The journey takes place in Nornidia, an open land where echoes of a forgotten past still haunt the present. Ancient forces have awakened with the disappearance of the Old Tide, And now it's up to you to explore this territory eroded by darkness in search of answers. Lighting beacons, facing shadowy entities, and unraveling what led the world to the brink of ruin. Combat will be marked by encounters with creatures that emerge from the fog, requiring precision and attention with every strike. Throughout the adventure, you'll be able to form bonds with ancestral souls, each bringing unique stories and abilities that can be incorporated into your journey. These connections influence not only your growth, but also the unfolding of the world around you. Nothing will be static, and every small decision could shape part of the narrative you're writing. One of the game's biggest promises lies in its dynamic quest system. Instead of following predefined orders, your path will be determined by your actions. Entire regions could change depending on specific choices, affecting enemies, allies, and even the emergence of new locations. With a constantly shifting world and its own mythology, this game is set to captivate you from start to finish. In 16th place, Crimson Desert emerges as an ambitious action-adventure open-world proposal, set in a medieval fantasy filled with conflicts and intrigue. The continent of Pyrule serves as the stage for a power struggle after the king falls into a coma, and your character must face a divided land while trying to survive, recruit allies, and prevent disorder from becoming permanent. The story promises to explore themes of loyalty, leadership, and survival, with a constantly shifting setting. Combat appears to be one of the game's main strengths, combining direct action with varied strategies. Swords, bows, explosives, and even supernatural powers blend with freedom to create your approach in each battle. Legendary creatures and rival forces will lurk, requiring attention to resources, weather, and time cycles. The possibility of riding horses, using balloons, and other forms of transportation suggests that exploration will be vital and dynamic throughout the journey. Another interesting promise lies in group management and secondary systems, such as cooking, crafting, and equipment rarity. The regions will feature a variety of biomes and may hide secrets that emerge depending on the time of day or environmental conditions. By combining a living world, adaptable gameplay, and immersive environments, this title has everything to be a landmark in the genre and deliver one of the most engaging experiences of 2025. In 17th place, Vampire the Masquerade promises to drag you back into the dark underworld of a Seattle devastated by supernatural conflicts. Controlling an ancient vampire awakening amid modern chaos, your mission goes far beyond mere survival. You must understand the new rules of the game, deal with treacherous alliances, and uncover the mysteries surrounding your condition. The weight of the past intertwines with current conflicts, creating a dense narrative filled with possible paths. Each clan offers a unique style of combat and interaction, from the flaming fists of the Bruja to the mental domination of the Ventru. Choosing who to align with is more than a mechanical detail. It defines your approach throughout the campaign. Outside of confrontations, the game encourages complex moral choices, relationships with powerful NPCs, and exploration of decadent urban environments hiding secrets, dangers, and opportunities. The setting molds itself around your actions, and the silence between alleyways may hide more than whispers. With multiple possibilities for action, intrigue, and manipulation, it seems the sequel will bet on greater freedom to define who you are in this world invisible to mortal society. Decisions matter, not as right or wrong answers, but as threads that weave alliances, create enemies, and rewrite history. Whether through brutality, magic, or persuasion, you'll need to choose whether to preserve what's left of your humanity or fully embrace the monster that's always been lurking. In 18th place, The Outer Worlds 2 promises to take you back to science fiction with a new story, new characters, and a new colony called Arcadia. The journey will be guided by an agent from the Earth Directorate, who must investigate mysterious rifts threatening the galaxy's balance. The retro-futuristic aesthetic remains strong, now with a focus on the consequences of skip drive technology and its impact on power structures and the lives of local inhabitants. Exploring this new world goes beyond frantic combat. Every decision, skill, and interaction shapes how missions unfold, with total freedom to adapt your character to your playstyle. Companions return as part of the crew, each with unique abilities and stories that expand the narrative. Combat will also be more varied, with customizable weapons and devices, alongside confrontations that demand both strategy and precision. What stands out is the promise of deeper exploration and a more complex faction system. The sarcastic humor that marked the first game will still be present, but with a narrative pointing to more serious ideological conflicts. If everything pans out, this sequel won't just repeat the formula. It will deliver a new universe of choices and consequences amidst the corporate chaos of space. In 19th place, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 promises to take you on an intense medieval journey, full of refined combat and political dilemmas. The continuation follows a new chapter in the life of Henry, now involved in more ambitious plots that mix historical reality with an epic narrative worthy of cinema. All of this unfolds in a meticulously detailed 15th century Bohemia, where the weight of decisions echoes through every village, castle, and battlefield you cross during the campaign. With over 100 missions full of choices and unique outcomes, each action can alter not just the course of a parallel story, but also the way the world reacts to your presence. Duels still require mastery of mechanics, and now there's room for real improvements in character building, from martial skills to using reason as a weapon. Whether by sword or by wit, the path is shaped by the decisions you make and the bonds you form. The map is divided into 2 open areas, with vibrant cities and interiors rich in historical detail. The map impresses both in scale and in the density of possibilities it offers. While the main campaign follows a more dramatic and structured path, there's still room for spontaneous adventures, from investigating gruesome crimes to settling disputes between fencing masters. A true odyssey that honors the legacy of the first game and expands on it masterfully. Next, we have Monster Hunter Wilds, which expanded everything you knew about monster hunting. This time, the game took you to a wild and unpredictable region with an ever-changing ecosystem. The world reacted to the weather, natural cycles, and the presence of giant creatures, transforming every investigation into something truly dynamic. The journey became intense, where the battlefield was never exactly the same, requiring preparation and adaptation for each new hunt. The combat remained tactical and exciting, with iconic weapons returning alongside new resources that expanded the possibilities for every confrontation. The fights became more fluid, with smooth transitions between exploration and brutal combat. The use of mounts played a bigger role, allowing you to navigate vast regions with agility while collecting materials, following tracks, and preparing for the main confrontation. The pace of the gameplay felt more natural, with fewer interruptions and more freedom to plan strategies in real time. One of the most striking elements was how the environment acted as a character. Sandstorms, mass migrations, and drastic map changes demanded constant adaptation. Each expedition could be interrupted or altered by weather events and the reactions of the ecosystem itself. You could never know exactly what you'd encounter ahead, which heightened the sense of immersion and challenge. This unpredictability was key to making this title one of the most memorable in the series, elevating the concept of hunting to a new level of complexity and excitement. And let me know what you think about these games. Which ones are you eager to play? Also, I'd love to hear what the last game was that consumed your life and kept you hooked for weeks. If you can, please subscribe to the channel to help me grow and never be uncertain about what to play again. I'm leaving 2 videos in the card, one I selected for you and another one YouTube chose. Just click on either one to watch. Big hug, enjoy the game, and see you tomorrow.